And that stopped when I was like 25. Okay, so that stopped pretty early. But we're going to have this exact same slide in a few minutes. But really, this is what matters, right? Like, I didn't see any of this stuff except this little picture down here. I just wanted financial freedom, right? Who doesn't want to make at least the same amount of money you make right now and get all your time back? Who doesn't want that? Raise your hand. Okay, you almost. I'm like, was it a trick question? Because I have misspoke myself, right? Come out the wrong way. But anyway, so let's move on here. Let's look at what do we actually do. Let's dive into some negative stuff here. It's supposed to be a joke. That wasn't that. Anyways, I'm going to stop trying to joke around here because you guys are definitely humor impaired. You guys got turkey on the mind, right? Who doesn't like turkey? I'm so sick of turkey. Anyways, so, like, I think we should have pizza, right? Like, why in the world should we eat what the Pilgrims ate? Okay, all right. I'm not going to try and change your minds on that. I see nobody's budging, right? You're like, I just paid $50 for that butterball. So let's look at. All right, calm down. This is a business meeting, okay? Let's just look at this. In 2016, shopping online in the United States. Let me preface this. How many people in here shop online? Right? Pretty much everybody, right? You know, and let me ask this. 15 years ago, how many people shopped online? Just a couple of you, right? Almost nobody. Like, I remember my parents were like, oh, we turn our cell phones off because somebody's going to steal our number. You remember those days? Right? Like, what are they going to take? Your phone number? I don't know. It was just odd to me. And here today, we put our credit card in a free Dropbox account. Don't even think about it. Right? So times have definitely changed. Here's what I'm going to tell you. If you don't keep changing with the times, you're going to be left behind. Right? So on a serious note, if we start looking at some of these stats, we're going to show you how to take advantage of this curve, this we call it hockey stick growth, that is going on whether we do this or not. Right? But I figure if you come out the week of Thanksgiving on Tuesday night, you probably maybe want something more out of life. Okay? So in 2016, $322 billion went through the internet in the United States. It's pretty good income, right? All right, I mean, pretty good stats for something that's just a few years old, right? This is projected to hit $1 trillion in the next 7.5 years. So think about that, $650 billion of economic growth in an industry that we don't have to invent anything. Right? Let's look at this. Let's talk about Jeff Bezos for one quick second. The guy launched his business 23 years ago in a few months. Am I right? All right. So 23 years ago. Is anybody in here older than 23? Almost everybody. Right? I think everybody is. All the youngsters are on vacation. But so think about that. 23 years, a guy creates he's the wealthiest man in the world on paper right now. He didn't invent anything. He just helped the shift happen that was going to happen anyways. So if we look at this, man, who wouldn't want a piece of that $650 billion in the next 8 years? Okay? You know, and at the same time, this $322 billion only makes up 8% of all retailing. Do you think there's going to be more than 8%? What's that number going to be when it's just 50% of all retailing? Right? So, I heard this a long time ago. You got to take advantage of an opportunity in a lifetime of an opportunity. Let me give you an example. How many people are in here looking at inventing and manufacturing typewriters? How many know that's gone? Our business, what we're looking at right here is the same way. The difference here is we can shift and pivot no matter what comes along. We can put it on our site, and I'll explain that as we go. It's a big deal, though, to understand that. We're not going, hey, here's this Miracle Cream, or here's this Jungle Juice. You're going to live an extra 20 years. You follow me? All right? So, entrepreneurship. This is Harvard Business School did this little survey over 10 years, asking people, how many people would like to own their own business? So let me ask, how many people in here has ever thought of owning your own business? Okay, that's probably a little more than 70%. I love Florida because it is an entrepreneur state. Horrible state to have a job. Right? Great state to have a business. Right? People ask me, why'd you move to Florida? There's this big fiery ball in the sky that you don't see in Michigan. So we moved. So has anybody ever heard of this, the 45-year plan? You know, the first night I seen this, so it was September 14th, 2001, 3 days after 9/11. Now, if you're over 23, y'all remember 9/11. So this is the Friday after. I come in, running in the house. I'm late for the meeting. I'm coming right from work. I'm taking my oldest daughter on a youth duck hunt the next day, so I really didn't, of course I want to make more money, but my mind was on hunting. Follow me? Anybody here a hunter? Then you don't understand what I'm talking about. Right? Okay, I'm filtering. So anyways, he shows me this 45-year plan, and I was ticked because what this says is right around 18 to 23, coming out of high school, coming out of college, we start our career. Now we start in our professional career. Do we start the top pay scale or the bottom? The bottom. That's why they call it climbing the corporate ladder. And how many people's at the top of the corporate ladder where you work? One. What does that mean? Not a lot of room. He has to either die or you got to be related to get his position. Follow me? And does he make more money than everybody else? So who really wants to climb to the top of the corporate ladder? Nobody! Okay. I'm sorry, I don't mean to yell at you. But Ed Zettner did that. And he got to the top and he looked around and he says, you know what, these rose-colored glasses, they've been cracked. It's not what I thought it was going to be. It took all this hard work to get up here, and all it was more responsibility, more stress, more time away from home, and not much more money. Right? Like, I don't know about you, but I got sick of chasing the almighty dollar in plumbing because I could never grab it. It was like nailing Jell-O to a tree, right? It just didn't stick. So this 45-year plan says we get raises for about the first 10 years in our profession. You know, and it was about 8 years for me. At 26, I stopped getting raises. I couldn't make any more money. I was capped out. Like that's as max they paid. You know what they paid for a master plumber? $25.75 an hour. And you're like, well, that's pretty good. That's not. That's horrible. So then that's how I started my own company. Right? I'm thinking, man, I could make $1,000 a day. Problem is I could make $1,000 a day, but I had to be there 14, 15 hours. And when I wasn't there working, how much money was I making? None. Right? So we work at this for 40 plus years. Flatline for 40 years. What? Anybody here in the medical field? Okay, what does flatline mean? Dead. It means the same thing in finances. And let me just say this. I was on actually a downward slant because if I'm making the same amount of money, but the price of everything is going up, it was like I was falling behind. Right? Your money doesn't spend the same, so it's actually like money getting taken away from you. Okay? So, and then when we retire, do we get a raise when we retire? No, you actually lose a half to a third. This is why we see people of retirement age here in Florida working at Publix or Walmart, McDonald's. You guys have been there, right? So anyways, so this 45-year plan, this holds people back from starting their own business. Why? They don't have the money, right? Risk. Primary reason people don't start their own business, it's a big risk. All right, it was $250,000 to start a plumbing company with truck, tools, insurance, materials, right? Have money to try and survive. So, you know, has anybody ever had to do a job, in any of your job, whatever you do, and you got to wait 60 days to get paid after the work's already done? Yeah. So more now, right? So when you're putting out, you know, between $5,000 and $8,000 a job, and you're doing 40 houses a year, and you're waiting 60 to 90 days for your income to come in, it gets tough. It's stressful. That's where I lost all my hair. Okay? Anyhow, so what do? Well, we've taken e-commerce, $322 billion year industry in our country alone, with entrepreneurship, and we smashed them together. This is what we came up with: collaborative commerce, Bonvera. Right? And we're going to break this down and explain what collaborative commerce is. So when I heard the word collaborative, hey, collaborative commerce, I'm like, what's it mean? Does anybody know what collaborative means? Working together, because you heard us say it. But I didn't understand. Is it safe to say the internet has put more mom and pop stores out of business than Walmart ever will? Because I meet people who are like, oh, Walmart closes all the mom and pop stores. The internet will do way more than that. Right? So here's what collaborative commerce is. We're going to give a platform to help mom and pop stores go into business and compete at the same level as the big boys. You follow me? This will make more sense as we go in the third hour. We'll get to that. All right. So, I got to get new batteries. So, the evolution of commerce. Here's how these guys, I'll say Kmart, Walmart, Amazon have made their hundreds of billions of dollars since 1899. That's when Kmart launched. How many people remember Kmart? Right? How many people don't remember Kmart? Okay, all right. The blue light special? How many of you that was your babysitter? Right? I'd walk in, Mom say, I'll be over by the light. So, Mom, get me a Slurpee. Remember when you walked in, there was popcorn in the Slurpee? Yeah, 50 cents, right? They walking around. Anyways, could never leave without going to Kmart Cafe. Best greasy burgers ever. Has nothing to do with this. I'm just killing time here, I guess. I don't know. Right? Some of you are like, I got to go, man. So here's traditional retail. We know there's typically 50 to 800% markup. That's being conservative. You follow me? So, but what happens by the time an end consumer gets it? A product's manufactured, it goes to a national, regional, local wholesaler, goes to a brick and mortar retail stores, advertising, end consumer gets it. No value added from the time it's manufactured to the time it's bought, but it's marked up to 800% or more. Right? So what did Walmart do? Walmart says, let's get rid of the wholesaler. Right? Walmart, Sam's Club, he took away the national, regional, local wholesaler, put up his own distribution stores. They call them Sam's Clubs. By the way, he makes billions now a year before he sells a product from memberships. Billions. What was it? Amazon for their $99 a year prepaid shipping? Because some of you think you get free shipping. It's prepaid shipping. They make money off that. $23 billion last year Amazon made from Amazon Prime subscriptions. And so I was like, man, I defend my Prime. I'm like, all right, I'm going to say it. All right. But so Walmart becomes the largest retailer in the world because he shrunk distribution, kept the middleman money. Jeff Bezos, very smart guy, July 5th, 1994, launches Amazon. How many know what they sold their first year? Books. Books that were out of date. Books that were out of date, he would buy and put them in his garage. He started Amazon out of a garage, borrowed $100,000 from his father to start it. Now he's worth hundreds of billions of dollars. How many remember the first time you heard, hey, go to Amazon.com? Like, Amazon, it's a river. Right? It's a rainforest. Or, like nobody knew it, but, and then the little swoosh. How many knew that meant from A to Z? You're just learning that right now, aren't you? We have everything from A to Z. That's what the swoosh goes from. You guys thought it was a smiley face, didn't you? So did I. So e-commerce, product manufactured, get rid of all the wholesalers, get rid of the retail store, keep the middleman money. Bam, 23 years, we create the largest company in the world, Amazon. Doesn't manufacture anything, doesn't even touch all the stuff, no shoplifting, no slip and fall lawsuits in the store, because it's all online, geographically unlimited. It's genius. Think about that. Like, if you could have invested, if stocks were $1 when you learned about it in 1994, and you knew where it was going, how many would have bought? Would have remortgaged the house, bet the whole farm, right? But hindsight 2020. Remember that analogy of when do you plant an oak tree? 23 years ago. When's the next time? Right now? Well, you're going to be able to do the exact same thing, only it's called Bonvera, and it's called C-commerce, and we're going to give you all the profits back that goes through your business, right? And we'll explain that in a second. So what's good about this? It's growing. It's very efficient. Problem, product discovery. If I come up with a widget and I put it online and you research, hey, universal remotes made by Jim Martin. How many know it'll be on like page 9,000? How many, when you go to buy something, you scroll through no more than 2 pages? Because the best deals are on the first 2 pages. So product discovery on the internet is very tough. You're out of business if that's your only means of selling your product. Okay? So what do? Collaborative commerce. So we have a product manufacturer, nationwide community that promotes your product word of mouth. Why? Because you're going to split some of your product, the profit, with us. Not the company. It's going to go back to the distributors. Right? And we're actually not distributors. We don't distribute anything. We're associates. Have I got anybody totally confused yet? Okay, I'm gonna sum it up on the next slide. So, product manufacturer, through a nationwide word of mouth. What's the most effective form of advertising? It's word of mouth. This is why movies, they'll run ads, they'll run commercials all the ways up to the day that it's launched to get the few in there. And what carries that movie is us coming out of there. If it's good, it's going to keep going. If it's bad, they don't spend any more money on advertising. Right? So, to end consumer. So this is new. This isn't, you promoting Amazon, how great it is, what do you get for it? Nothing. Jeff Bezos is like, man, in his rocket ship going, Rocket Man, right? Like, how many know that's why he started Amazon? He wanted to own a rocket ship company. He didn't know how he was going to do it. He evolved. Now he sells everything. Well, almost. We actually have, well, I'm going to go there. So e-commerce opportunity, it's available to everybody. Problem is, it's very expensive to get started. Right? Like people think, well, conventional business is very expensive too, to buy location. Well, how about put $5 million into a website? That's more expensive than a store front. Right? So it's expensive if you're going to do it right. You're going to put a lot of money into IT. Right? We solved new product discovery because if your product's good, it's going to carry word of mouth. You follow me? And we're going to highlight some products here in a second. So let's wrap it up, or not wrap it up, let's explain what C-commerce is. We as entrepreneurs, we drive people to a website that tracks the sales of products. Okay? By cutting out middlemen, there's a pool of money left over that goes to the entrepreneurs. You do the work and follow the steps, you make the money. So the person in here for the first time can make more money than the gentleman that founded the company. Can that happen where we work? Can you buy more stock than Jeff Bezos and own more of Amazon than him? It ain't going to happen. Here it could happen. So where Kmart, Walmart, and Amazon made all their money, we're doing the exact same thing. The difference here is we're giving the money back to the people who produce the volume. How do you produce the volume? Drive people to a website. Okay, so let's break it down a little bit more. Let's keep going. Entrepreneurship done the right way. I thought I was an entrepreneur because I had a plumbing company. Basically, I just owned a job. Right? The day that every night when I turned the lights off in a shop, I stopped making money. You know what entrepreneur definition of it is? Fear of starvation. Means you'll do whatever it takes. Right? Like if you invested, let's just say $250,000 into your own business, started up, are you going to take that serious? Are you going to tend to the store every day and make sure that it goes? Get the best advice, do the best practices? Of course. Now here is one problem that drives me crazy with our business. It's around $300 to get started, with a way upside opportunity than any job could ever give you. But people's like, well, I'll take it on advisement. I'll see how it goes. Are you kidding me? Do you think Jeff Bezos said, well, I'll see how it goes? He worked. He worked his guts off. And look at where he's at today. King of the hill of e-commerce. For now. This fleeting moment. 10 years, I don't believe he'll be able to say that. Okay? All right. So this ESBI, entrepreneurship done the right way. We took some information from a guy named Robert Kiyosaki. Many of you may have heard of him. His first book was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It was sold in pretty much every store. I think I seen him in Home Depot, man. Right? Like, you got magazines, how to build this. Here's Kiyosaki's book. Right? This came out of his second book called The Cash Flow Quadrant. 4 ways of making money, moral, legal, and ethical. How many know that's important? Yes. How many it's not important too? Okay, good. We're going to have to escort you out. Right? We don't, anyways. So here's what it stands for. Employee and self-employed on the left side of the quadrant, business owner, investor on the right side of the quadrant. What's the difference? Well, here's the difference. ESI, left side, we trade the most valuable thing that we have, which is we trade time for money. Kiyosaki says in the introduction to this book, he really gets you aroused. If you trade time for money, you'll never have both. Throw the book, burn the bridges, get it out of my sight. Right, like isn't that what we're all taught to do? Go to school, get good grades, get a safe, secure job, live the American dream. If you stop working your job, how much money do you make? None. Right, so trade time for money, I could see where he's at. Here's what he says. 95% of the world does this, and they only control 5% of their wealth. That blew me away. I didn't believe it. No way. But I didn't say anything. I was that kid in school that never asked questions. You too? So after Ed was walking out. I said, man, after I joined and Ed's walking out, he gave me the cash flow quadrant to read. And he says, and I asked him a question. I said, I really don't understand that ESBI, though. I said, I understand where it's coming from, but those numbers just don't jive. He said, okay, very simple. He says, do you have any bills? He says, yeah. He says, do you have a mortgage on your house? Yes. I had 28 more years on the house I lived in for 10 years. And he says, well, where does that money end up? He says, you might make half the money over here, but it ends up back on this side. So the investor holds a note to my house. He's the one that actually owns my house. Right? So out of my income, $1,270 a month was going right back to this side. Then I had car payments. So same thing. Money went back to this side. So basically by the end of the month, sometimes there was more month than money. So I'm not even keeping 5%. I mean a lot of people that they go in a hole every month and they don't even realize it until it's too late. People say, man, I just went bankrupt. No. You went bankrupt 5 years ago from the decisions you made, right? It goes slow and then all of a sudden. Follow me? So I can start to see it. So what the heck is this B and I side? That intrigued me because I could do math like if we have 95.5, that means if we had $20 and 20 people, that means 19 people over here is fighting over just $1. Over here, one guy gets the rest. Where do you want to be? That side. How many people learn this in school? You couldn't because you learned from employees. Nothing wrong with them, they just don't know. Right? I couldn't learn how to be a wealthy, successful business owner from somebody who wasn't. Are you with me? But do you think McDonald's franchises are run by wealthy, successful business owners? No, they're run by a system. So what is this B-type business? These gears up here constitutes a system. So this system runs your business when you're not around. Right? Like Ray Kroc died in the 1980s, late 80s. He had 13,000 McDonald's in existence around the world. Today there's 36,000 plus. How do you almost triple the size of your empire after you start dirt napping? Right? Pretty smart guy. And if you go watch the movie The Founder, it was a great movie to hear and to see how he came to be. He wasn't the smartest guy. He just had an idea. Right? So, and of course, investing is where we have money. We send more money out to hijack more money, so I didn't qualify. I don't even want to hear about it. I thought I was an investor because I had a 401k plan. Why are you laughing? Because 2 weeks after 9/11, it turned into a 201k plan because you lost half? Yeah, me too. So, of course, we all want to get to the right side of the quadrant. And gang, that is exactly what we do, a B-type business. But there's a few steps. And the few steps are go conventionally against everything we learned. Because when I was in school, they asked me, what do you want to do? I want to be a plumber. Learn for a master plumber. Okay, I did. Became a master plumber. It defined my lifestyle. So we say, we got to do it 180 degrees different. Let's define what we want out of life first. Learn from somebody who has what we want. Do what they do. Problem is if you're starting up a software company, can you go knock on Bill Gates' door and say, hey, you did pretty well for yourself, man. Teach me how to get to where you're at. Would it happen? Wouldn't happen. You never get near his house. But I can tell you this, when you look at some of the lifestyles of the people who have helped Bonvera get off and rolling, you would want them. Time, choices, security, right? Morals, character, integrity. Those are things that matter. Right? So we say this define, learn, do, and that's where the moments matters comes in, right? Like, what are we actually going to drive for? What do we want, right? We want to spend more time with the family? Instead of just a hammock, on one of those metal poles next to your... Anyways, you get what I'm saying. I want the beach, man. Give me the beach. Give me the palm trees. Maybe giving to churches and charities, missionaries around the world. And of course, I don't care what you say, everybody needs a helicopter. You just do. Dan, would you have got here quicker if you had a helicopter? A lot faster, right? Lives up in Northport. Got here a lot faster. I would have got here a lot faster from Northwest Cape Coral. I'd have landed on the roof and everything would have been fine. How many have seen they have drones that fit people? And they're self-driven. You put in GPS coordinates, they take you. All right, like how cool would that be? Chick-fil-A, Pine Island Road. Right? You don't have to land, just hover up there and just send down a little cable. You think I'm joking? We are not that far away. You know what the first drone delivery was in Italy? Pizza. Domino's Pizza in Italy was the first drone delivery. Crazy. It happened over a year ago. Stayed 25 feet up, delivered the pizza down from a cable. Crazy. Like we're in the Jetsons age, right? How many know what the Jetsons are? Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Right, right. All right. So we got to have something that drives us, right? Like I'm going to get into what we do. I only have 18 minutes left. It's not that tough. You kind of get it. What do? We drive people to a website, cut out the middlemen, share the profits. That's it. Just keep remembering that. Drive people to a website, cut out the middlemen, split the profits. What do we have? Everything. Except lumber. Yet. We will have lumber. People keep asking me, every plan that we showed, it seems like, Mark and Charlie, you guys got Lowe's and Home Depot. Like, what are you, contractors? You're trying to get out of it. Just shut up. So, 3 Ps, Bonvera's 3 Ps to success. Products, process, and people. And they go in that order of importance. Products, they come and go. It's not the most important thing. But we do have stuff people buy every day, and we'll cover that. Process, hey, it's very important. Where does this money come from? Well, it comes from the same place the wealthiest man in the world gets it from. Cut out the middlemen. Split the profits, okay? Our biggest asset is the people. It's community. It doesn't matter what business you are in, you need people. Right? I've had some people say, do I got to recruit people? Like, what is recruiting? It's marketing. Every business needs people. Right? So when they market to people, they're recruiting customers. The problem is the issue, the whole scheme of that is, it's one leveled, one generation, because all those people make the one guy the money. In our business, it doesn't matter how deep it goes, anybody in here can make more money than anybody else. Right? I'll explain that in a second. I've almost hit my word limit today, so I'm almost over. So we have exclusive brands. Now some people say, do you guys just sell your stuff? No, we don't sell just our stuff, but our stuff is really good. Just like Walgreens, what do they sell? They sell nice stuff. A couple months ago, I was up in Michigan, and Mom said, hey, can you go to Walgreens and get me some eggs? So I said, Mom, I'll get you some nice eggs, some nice water, some nice milk. Because it's all Walgreens, right? So Walmart's got their own stuff, right? Great value. You know, and who goes to Sam's Club and buys Smart Water? Nobody. You buy the Sam's Club purified water. Because it's like 40 bottles for $3. I mean, come on. It's like pretty soon they're going to say, here's $5, take the water. So, I don't know what got into me. You guys are a great crowd, right? I'm here every Tuesday. All right. Okay. All right. So, our first main product, what is just absolutely sweeping the nation, people are loving this stuff, it's called Physics MD. I'm going to tell you, absolutely. So, here's what I'm going to tell you. Go to Physics MD on Facebook, go to Physics MD Facebook page, like us, share us, read all about us, learn some testimonies, learn some videos from Dr. Jeff Davis. You'll learn all about what these products can do for you. Phenomenal stuff. So instead of me telling you where it's at, go to our Facebook page, Physics MD, like it, share it, read all about it. So how many people in here, we're not going to ask you to come do a testimony, but how many, by clap of hands, how many of you have a positive testimony from Physics MD? Perfect. Same thing with Labella. Top quality skincare without the big price tag, right? I'm really 72, but I've been using Labella, took my crow's feet away. Just kidding, right? Right. Anyway, so skincare, actually Amy Marks is in the room tonight. She helped she formulated the Labella skincare after, absolutely. Then we also entered a $13 billion a year market. It's called energy drinks. Only our energy drinks not only taste great, they're actually good for you. They're not full of a bunch of chemical soup. Okay, so we also have meal replacement protein bars. So there's some of our exclusive products. Many more that will be launching here by the end of the year, okay? So that platform will always keep expanding, right? So, but we also have everything else. When I say everything else, remember we talk about collaborative commerce, emerging companies, somebody that's just getting started. So a few of these right here, there's many more, but here's a few highlighted. Green Rhino. It's a cleaner. If you've used it, you're not going to use any other cleaners the rest of your life. You're going to use Green Rhino. Chemical-free, all natural, great price, great volume, cleans everything, right? We killed something in our house the other day, got the carpet all bloody, came up like that, right? We had a lot of company for the wedding. Right, this is tape. This is a joke, guys. Right? UB Super. There's actually UB Super smoothies now. Here's a product that was developed over 7 years from a guy that learned nutrition very well. Right? It's a phenomenal product. But we also have 77 stores that you already shop at. A few of them highlighted here, like Verizon, Walmart, Target, PetSmart, Best Buy, Bass Pro Shop, Sam's Club. So here again, when people ask me, is this a real business or is this one of those schemes? I'm like, well, let's look at this. Walmart. Do they have more attorneys than you could probably afford? Yes. And they linked up with us. So that alone right there should tell you, stop being ignorant. Okay? That was PG, wasn't it? There's a company called BluePay. BluePay is a service. It's a merchant service. Been around 33 years. They service over 54,000 accounts. They do over $15 billion a year. They came to us and merged with us a partnership that says, hey, every lead that you submit and goes with BluePay, we're going to split the profit 50-50 with you. They do all the setup. They do all the negotiations. They do all the service. All we do is submit a lead. It takes 5 minutes. Unbelievable. So imagine sleeping. When somebody's swiping credit cards, you're making money. Did they teach you that in school? Hey, make money while you sleep. I'm like, man, I need a nap like 3 o'clock every day. Anyway, so, and then we warehouse a little over 1,300 products, name brand stuff that you already buy. Right? So it's not just exclusive private label brands, but those are world class. Right? With big volume back. So we allow you to split those profits with yourself. So that's the products. The process. Well, we have how many people in here eat every day? Okay, a few of you. Some of you are bionic. That's okay. So imagine getting just some of the stuff that you use every day delivered to your house the first week of the month. So we call it BVR1. The 1 stands for the first 7 days of the month. It's nice and convenient, right? Like, guys, how many of you really like to go buy toiletries for your house? No, just have them come right to you. Okay? So you're like, anyways. So this is what generates residual profit, right? How does Publix make money? Because in that geographic area, because, I don't know, there's got to be 4 or 5 of them here in the Cape, right? So I don't go to the one over off of Cape Coral Parkway. There's one on Pine Island and Burn Store Road, thanks. So geographically limited for stores. Here, we're geographically unlimited. We were flying out to California not long ago. I looked down this little house in the middle of nowhere and here's what I said to myself. My business can deliver to him and we sell everything that he buys. Can everybody's business say that? No. I mean, think about that. Like, how many know, I don't have my phone with me, Dolores has it. How many know there's a GPS tracker in there? How long do you think it's going to be when you order something, you're going to have it delivered to your device? This isn't far away, guys. We're out in the middle of the ocean, shark fishing, dehydrated, we need water. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm getting paid for it. Okay? All right, I'm going a little too much for you now, right? You're like, oh man, that's a little whacked out there. So, imagine your bottled water, your supplements, your energy drinks, your shakes, whatever, right? Your toiletries, some food, delivered right to your house. So this is way number 1 that you're going to start earning money, okay? Just buy stuff that you're already buying. Number 2, you might be asking yourself, can I do this? This is what I did. I'm like, totally makes sense. I'm in. Wait, I don't know how to do this. I'm out. But I can do it. I'm in. I'm out. Has any guys in here ever gotten a boat and the boat started leaving before you got your second foot in? Yeah, it's a very uncomfortable position to be in. Okay, unless you're Gumby, and I don't think any guys in here look like, oh, maybe Chris. It is, okay. So, but here's what we have. We have a training system, just like McDonald's has a training system to duplicate all around the world. I mean, you get off a plane in Germany, walk up to McDonald's, don't speak the language, you just go, What are you getting if it's after 10:30 in the morning? Big Mac value meal, right? So it's duplicatable. Guess what? This slideshow is duplicatable, can show it anywhere in the world. It's the same. We have a system that's pure. So we know if you're ambitious and teachable and you want more of life, you'll learn this and you'll get through that minefield without being stumpy, right? Don't follow Stumpy, right? Might lose a leg. Okay. I can say that because you guys all got your limbs. It's happened where people haven't. Sorry, honey. All right, so let's get into the people. Let's just keep trucking right along. I got 8 minutes. All right. So team approach. Now, I'll tell you, the night that Dolores and I, because we seen this, and again, you heard the scenario. I've rushed in from work. I'm still full of dirt. My buddy's house, white carpet. I don't care. He invited me over. And I look at Dolores, and because of team approach, and there's other people in the house that were seeing it at the same time, I said, write the check. She goes, what? 2-week-old baby, almost died twice, right? A lot of health issues with James when he was born. And here, 3 days after 9/11, we think the world's coming in. I'm joining a business and I don't have time or money to do this. She says, write the check. I says, yeah. She goes, you don't like plumbing? I said, I don't care. I don't like. Oh, she goes, you don't like people? I said, I don't care. I don't like plumbing. Write the stinking check. You seen who had the checkbook? Anyways, the reason I did that is because on the other side of the room was the parents to my buddy's house that we were in, and they were going, hey, yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's do it. So I understood team approach. Here's what team approach means. You get started, we start putting people on your team with or without you. So if I stood up here and says, here's what we do, gang. We cut out the middlemen, split the profits, and this is going to build with or without you. I was like, I'm in. All I seen was if Ed can help me make an extra $2,000 a month, that was it. That was my big, unbelievable vision. If I can make $2,000 extra a month, that'd be great. And I'm here to tell you, it takes no more effort to make $2,000 a month than it does $20,000 a month. It takes leveraging a system. If you try and build it on your own without the XO system, you're going to build a self-employed business and you're going to get capped out just like everybody else. But if you leverage a system, you can have business in all the states. As we go worldwide, you can have business in all the countries, and you can live a pretty nice lifestyle that you can pass this and transfer it down to your next generations. This is transferable. Right? So, absolutely. So, here's how it works. You get started, we put some people on your team, you get excited about that, so you tell somebody about it. Right? When you see something working, you take action because your belief is up. If there's no belief, there's no action, no results, you quit. Just like, how many people know that January's coming? So the gyms are going to be full for about the first 3 weeks. And because people don't lose weight in the first 3 weeks, they stop going. We are instant gratification. We are instant everything society. I mean, for goodness sakes, we have Taco Bell Express. I mean, how fast do you need acid reflux? Drive by and they shoot them out of a can. I mean, it's crazy. We had instant popcorn, instant everything. Here's what you'll never have: instant success. If you do, you're headed for a crash. Has anybody ever seen that show when they used to interview and show the lifestyle of all these people that won the lottery? Yeah. Were they better off after 5 years of winning all that money, or worse? Worse. So with this, you're not only going to get an education on how to earn it and attract it, you're also going to get an education on how to keep it and invest it. I've heard it many times just in the last week. Whoa, you need 7 streams of income to be diversified and, be successful. And, I believe that's true. But if you have 7 streams that don't produce anything, you got nothing. Because as an employee, that's not a stream of income. You're a slave to your job, and if you quit, your income's gone. You guys thought I was nice. First half was all butter you up. Now I'm telling you the truth, right? Gee, Jim. But this is going to happen. We understand people are shifting to the internet. We found a way to capitalize on it. So here's what has to happen. You're going to learn how to build it in one organization. As you learn and you become a good student, you're going to start building a second organization. Here's why. Now you're showing the computer that you're doing the work. You ought to like that because then there's no favoritism. Right? Oh, I like Brian a lot better than I like Eric. So Brian's going to get all the good jobs. Wrong Eric. So here's what this looks like. If this is you, And if people above you don't have a second organization, here's the worst thing that's going to happen to them. They're going to get a rebate back on the stuff that they buy. That's the worst thing. Like Charlie and I were showing this to somebody last night. He goes, all right, there's got to be a downside. What's the downside? There is none. You get paid back on the stuff that you buy. There's the downside. What's the upside? Sky's the limit. I mean, the only downside is you actually got to do it if you want to make money. What's doing it? I didn't have time, so I brought people to this, and I leveraged this. I watched an intro meeting go from a little bit bigger than this, around 75 people, to 500 in less than 2 years, with a whole bunch of other intro meetings locations opened all around it, right? Brian has seen them. He walk into a room of 500 people, all walks of life. Like, you think we paid all them to impress you? Right? Like, no way. So how do we make money? Here's the first 4 ways, and I'm going to jump off here. I wish oh, wait. Look at that. I gave you a new remote. Okay. Easily distracted. Squirrel. So the first way of making money. So when you set up your first BVR1, in the first 45 days of being in business, and it processes, you get $25 in a check form, but that's basically taking $25 off your first BVR. So what are we doing? We're trying to help you create the right habit here. Right? We're giving you a reward to buy stuff you already buy. We're tricking you into becoming wealthy. It's the craziest thing. Like, people fight at you and like, I only make money if I help you make money, so stop resisting. Isn't that crazy? It's like, Mark, I've got these gold bars in this basement. Help me haul them out. Oh, no way, man. Those gold bars are heavy. I mean, like, come on. It's crazy. So get on your BVR1 in the first 45 days. Bam, you get $25. Now, get this. Every person that you set up, that you enroll, and when their first BVR1 hits, you get $25. That's unlimited. Set 10 people up a month. You make $25 each. How much do you make? $250 before you even get into the compensation plan. That's a pretty good deal. All right, so that's way number 2. Way number 3, let's enter the compensation plan. If we build 15 people in this first organization, let's just say you know 3 or 4 of them. You're not going to know them all. You start a second organization, you put 9. So 15 in one, 9 in the next, on average doing 200 points a month. As some of you heard when Cody Newton was here two Saturdays ago, in less than 2 years, you're going to be running 1,000 to 2,000 points in a household because of the stuff that's coming onto our site that you buy all the time. Imagine this. Every time you pull money out of this pocket, it comes back to this pocket with more money. That's what we're talking about. So at just this small level, you're looking at $450 to $1,000 a month back to you. Right? This person here doesn't build a second organization of 9. He might get 10% back on his stuff. He might get $20. You did the work, you make more. Is that fair? All right, it's called capitalism. Some people are like, oh, I hate capitalism. Just lazy people hate capitalism. Okay? That's why I asked the question. If you're lazy and you stayed, you got offended, I'm not going to say I'm sorry. But I'm going to smile. I'm going to love you. You can change. All right. We double that, 15, or take that 15 to 30, that's 9 to 19. Now you're looking at $1,000 to $2,000 a month. And right in between there, we're going to throw in a car program. Okay? Like, that's a big deal. Right? Like, how many times could you, at work, you help the company make and produce, $5,000 a month of income. And, oh, by the way, thanks a lot. Here's a new car. It's yours. And either Lexus, BMW, or Cadillac, or blue and white. Right? Any colors, any of our colors. Our company colors are blue and white. I'm not going to try and be funny because I already screwed it all up. So I'm going to go back to this, and I'm going to bring Dolores up because I've got 6 zeros on the timer. Why is there so many zeros on that timer? All right, so let's go back real quick. So 15 and 9, $450 to $1,000 a month. 30 and 19, $1,000 to $2,000 a month. By the way, how about 60 days and 120 days? In the next 120 days, an extra $2,000 a month coming in. Okay? And of course, that's plus your job. You don't quit everything to do this. When a whole bunch of people do a little bit of work, it makes a lot of results, okay? And of course, the bigger teams get, there's way more money. Like, we could keep going. I'd tell you this. When somebody has 100 and 100, you're probably going to be making 6 figures a year. Most people will be free at 6 figures a year. I know, I understand some of you won't be, but understand you get all your money up front, then pay taxes after expenses. Okay? I'm not an accountant, but I do use a really good one. All right, so last thing. Let's sum up e-commerce again. What do we actually do? We drive people to a website by cutting out the middlemen. All right, drive people to a website that tracks the sales of the products by cutting out the middlemen. Right? This middleman money, pool money, goes back to entrepreneurs. If you follow the process and do the work, you get paid. So last thing, second time. What if, what else, and why not? Ask yourself the right what if question. Not like, what if I don't do this? Well, then you're not going to do it. You're already looking for a way out. You got to ask yourself those questions. What if I follow the process, do the work? Where can I be in the next 2 years? Can I be completely financially independent? Some of you, it might only take a year. I don't know. I can tell you this, it took us 2 years and 2 weeks in a broken business model, and I had no time. And I didn't like people. I haven't met any of you that didn't smile here yet tonight, right? Huh? Look at that. Try and not look at me and not smile. I'll tickle you. All right? All right. So what if? What else? What else can you start a potentially worldwide business, already a nationwide business, for $300? Oh, and by the way, out of that $300, $200 is products and services. You're going to get something for it. You're going to get some Physics MD, some Labella, and some physics drinks and bars. Okay, so you're getting something for that, and a website that is state of the art. And then why not? Why not? People ask me, well, I don't have the money. Well, let me ask you this. If you woke up tomorrow morning and 2 of your tires were gone, and it costs $300 to get those tires to take you a job that you can't stand, how would you come up with that $300? Right? Like Charlie and I, we just sat down with a couple not long ago, last week sometime. And they're like, well, we got to wait till Friday, this and that. I said, well, I got your products if you want them now. And she looked at her husband and said, get the card. He walked over, got the card out, the emergency card, and got started. And that person already has people on their team. Their business is growing. So there's a couple that is taking and running. So I'm done. I'm going to do the best thing I can do. I'm going to bring Dolores up for some closing comments. All right, you're going to see that I am a salesman, right? You can look at me and look at her. But Dolores loves people, right? This is where we counteracted each other here in this category here. She loves people, and she wants to help you succeed. And she knows how to help people succeed. So give a big warm welcome for Dolores Martin.
Well, welcome. Don't let him fool you. He loves people too. He just tries to hide it and act all macho, but Jim's a warm, fuzzy guy most of the time. But anyways, well, welcome. I just want to take a couple of seconds here to kind of not so much give my perspective, because I think Jim did an awesome job on kind of going over in a 360 whatever view for everybody on what Bonvera is. And we're going to have Tim Marks coming up here after to kind of share what to do, how to get started and what to do next. But I just wanted to go over a couple of things. If you are brand new, whether you're on the Facebook page or if you're here tonight, a couple of things that I would highly suggest that you do, because if Jim and I had not done these steps, we wouldn't be here tonight, and Jim would still be working as a plumber, I think. But that's just my opinion. But what we did is the very first night we took a look at it, we did get started. So I am going to suggest, just get started. For a couple of $100, you get yourself in the market that, so you can't say, what do those people do? Like, how many times do you guys drive past a house in the middle of the day and you think, what am I doing wrong? Like, Jim and I would have those thoughts all the time, but we didn't understand how to have a business that worked for us. See, Jim worked for our business, our plumbing business. I took the money and he did the work, and it worked out really well for us for a long time. But that business, Jim worked. In this business, we're going to teach you how to have your business work for you. And so it does make sense, guys, for a couple $100. So I'm going to suggest you do that same thing. Get started tonight. But the next thing I'm going to suggest you do is to get a time back to get back with the person that invited you. So if you're here tonight, get a time to get back with them in the next couple of days. If you're out on Facebook, get a time to talk live to the person that sent you the link to get on there. And then the next thing I'm going to suggest is to get more information, because that very first night we did get started, but whether you do get started or not tonight, I'm going to suggest that you get a time to get back with them and take more information, because Jim and I did walk home that night, and I did ask him, I said, why did you get started? Like, I totally understood at the time Jim didn't like people, but it was really the situation. He didn't like the situation we were in. He didn't like that he had to work every day, sun up to past sundown, and work 7 days a week, and he kept thinking, I'm not getting ahead. And this is something that we could have working for us, that we could get ahead. So he did like people. He just didn't like our situation. But I did ask him that. And he said, I don't like plumbing. And we went in that front door. And luckily, that was a Friday night. We had Monday to get back with the person that had invited us down there that night. And then we had more information. So Jim listened to that information over the weekend, because by the time you get started, or by the time you book a time to get back with them, the second you walk out that door, you start talking to yourself. That's just humanism. And you start talking to yourself on, well, maybe the house I live in is fine. Maybe the car I'm driving is fine. And we talk ourselves right out of an opportunity that could be life-changing for you. So I'm going to suggest those couple of things. What the more information is, it's in the form of some audios. It's called our Closer Look Pack, and it's going to have 2 audios in there. And those audios are going to hit you from both directions, logically and emotionally, on 2 different types of speakers that are going to go over big picture of what our business is, kind of like what Jim talked about, but it's going to answer a lot of questions for you on why it would be right for you. And then the book that I would suggest you ask if they can lend you is called Household Gold. And it's going to talk about, we have gold in our house all the time that we're spending money on. Why not put that money back in your own pockets? So the book just makes sense. I'm going to suggest that you get that more information in the time to get back with them. And I'm going to close tonight with an event that we have coming up. It's called the Power Training Event. And if you guys are in this room tonight in Florida, or in this state, in Florida, we're going to have an opportunity to see it live. If you're not in driving distance of here, you'll have an opportunity to register for it on the XO website, which, if the person that invited you here can lead you to that direction. And I think the gentlemen that are running the Facebook Live tonight, they're going to put a link to it in the comment section. So go down there and you can find more information on it. But guys, this event is huge. Like, if you know anything about the speakers with Bonvera, we're actually going to have at that event, we're going to have Tim and Brandy Jarvinen both here. We're going to have Mark Paul here. We're going to have Kirk and Nicole Porter here. We're going to have Cody Newton here, Chris Mattis here, Jim and I will be here, Tim and Amy Marks will be here. All of those speakers are going to be involved in speaking that weekend. So it is a huge deal, because you're going to be, and it's going to be, how many people love it when they just get right to the point? And those talks are going to be short, crisp, exactly a training event that you do not want to miss. The Friday night, if you're here, is going to actually be our game day. So it's going to be December 8th, and it's going to start at 8 o'clock. And the ticket to our regular game day will get you into that. And then on Saturday, if you're here in Florida, on Saturday you'll have to register for that one. So it's a huge deal. You can watch it online. They're going to simulcast it out, however they do that in the Jetsons age thing that they do out on what Jim was talking about. But you can watch it whether you're here in Florida or if you're across the country. And it's a super exciting thing because of the level of speakers that are going to be there that night. So that's all I have for you. We're going to take about a 5-10 minute break. I suggest you meet the speakers that are in the room tonight. Meet Tim Marks and Amy Marks. They're both here. If you have questions about the skincare, ask Amy Marks. She's the formulator of that. How often do you have a product that the person that developed it is in the room with you? So it's a fantastic opportunity. Tim's going to come up here, and he's going to share a wealth of information with you on how to take this business seriously, and more importantly, how it's going to work for you. That's all I have. God bless you guys.